taught me how to breathe, okay? So anyway, I'm maybe, I don't know, 15, 16 years old. This guy had me so far advanced.
For that age.
I didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
I'm getting into fights. I'm not bragging. I'm knocking, like, guys out, right, with my open palm. I mean, knocking them out, like, doing everything that Tony Zuzio taught me.
Wow.
Kicking, palm, this, that. I mean, this guy was like, it was almost like the, what's that Karate Kid, Miyagi? And
Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah, Mr. Miyagi.
Mr. Miyagi. Wax on, wax off.
But you talk about if Tony Zuzio liked you, okay, another family that would open their doors to you, they feed you, they take you in. They took me in. I mean, every time, every night, you know, Aunt Connie would go, sit down, eat something, this, that, you know. Just a good family. Everybody was afraid of him too.
I would be.
I mean, because the guy was not, he was normal.
Yeah.
You know, but if this guy has a bad day, he goes off his rocker, you ain't stopping this guy.
Yeah.
You better get a freaking bazooka. You know?
That's right.
Because this guy didn't know, he could take 5-6 people, no problem.
Wow.
You know? So everybody wanted to be on his good side, right? But he loved me. I gotta say the truth. He did. He loved me. And I loved him, you know? Loved the whole family. He was very close with this guy called Rico Guy,
Right.
who was a black guy, another acclaimed martial artist, accomplished a ton of stuff. And they went to samurai school together to learn the sword and master the sword and Budo, Bushido, I think they call it. Tony Zuzio knew all the pressure points. He knew everything, right? So there was this guy, Cliff Williams. They called him Doc. They nicknamed him, right? Cliff Williams, I would say, was 6'6", 280, 285, solid.
Big boy.
Big black. I mean, this guy was a big guy, right? And he was an orphan, and he was adopted, or he lived with Ronnie Van Cleef. Ronnie Van Cleef, if you look at him today, he was the Chinese dragon. He was the black dragon, you know, for years, you know. Well, Cliff was getting so good that Ronnie Van Cleef showed him a technique. Said, get on the floor, I want to show you something. And cracked his shoulder blade on purpose.
Oh, wow.
Just to injure him because he was getting...
Take him out. He's getting too fast, too good.
Because a lot of instructors, that's how they were back then. There's some instructors today, the same thing. Like if you're starting to get good and you catch them in a move or whatever...
They'll hurt you on purpose.
They'll try to hurt you, or knowing that they can't get away with that, they'll kick you out of their school. Or they'll say you got to leave or something. They get butthurt because you're getting good. You know?
They don't want you to advance above them. Makes sense.
Terrible instructors, right? So Ronnie Van Cleef hurts Cliff. Cliff, through Rico, meets Tony. Tony goes into Ronnie Van Cleef's school. Now, mind you, back then, it was a lot more segregated. So if you were Italian, you stood in your neighborhood. If you were black, you stood in your neighborhood. You were Puerto Rican, you stood in your neighborhood, Irish, and so on, right? You didn't go in each other's neighborhoods. Tony Zuzio goes there, loaded up with a pistol. Goes there, puts a gun right to Van Cleef's head. You know? I mean, this is the balls this guy had. This guy would go, he'd load up, go anywhere, you know?
Ready to go.
Put a gun to his head and basically said, you leave this kid alone, this kid's with me. Walked Cliff out of there and took him in.
Wow. So
Cliff never forgot what he did for him. And Cliff was scared of Tony Zuzio. Like, you know, Tonio couldn't beat him. I mean, Cliff was a beast. Yeah. I mean, he was way ahead of his time, too. Like, he learned all different martial arts. His training was, I'll get into that, right? Was a whole nother level. He was always scared of Tony Zuzio because of how crazy he was.
Makes sense.
Because Tony had the balls. He didn't care, you know. From Tony Zuzio, I get introduced to Cliff. And Tony kind of let me go. Like, in other words, he said, look, if you want to you're at a level now where I've shown you everything I know.
He's taking you as far as he can. He's selling you.
Right. He said, now I'm going to put you with Cliff if you want to go further. So I hook up with Cliff. I never forget the first time I went to go meet him, right? I get him on the phone. He goes, yeah, meet me on the corner of 6th Avenue and 8th Street. That's on the west side. There's a park there. So I just thought we were going to meet there. I didn't think we were going to train there. And he told me, bring your gi. So you know what a gi is?
Yeah.
Gi is your karate outfit, right?
It's your outfit.
I walk into the park. He's there with another guy, and they got their gis on in the street. He's got a makiwara, a man-made makiwara. He made it out of a phone book, and he would wrap it in masking tape, wrap it, and put books and everything else. And he made this big like punching pad, and he would nail it to the tree. And this guy's whacking the tree with everything, punching it, elbows, kicks, and screaming in the middle of the street. So I walk up to him and I say, Cliff? He goes, yeah, call me Doc. He said, where's your gi? I said, in my bag. He says, gi up. Gi up.
In the middle of the street?
Yeah. So I'm embarrassed because I'm not walking in the street with my karate outfit. They think it's not friggin' Halloween, you know? Yeah. But he trained in Japan. He trained in Okinawa. He trained everywhere. And that's how he lived. If he dressed up, he had his gi pants on. He was always training. So I go in the basketball court where it was dark. I put my gi pants on. I put my gi on. And I walk out. He goes, go ahead, punch that 100 times. 100 times.
The phone book.
The phone book.
Nailed to the tree.
I did it. My hands are all, I'm all bloodied up. I'm still hitting it. I'm not giving up. My hands are full of blood. And then he starts showing me some katas, which is, technique and stuff like that. Then after that, we go eat. My hands are all, and he says, oh, don't worry about that. He said, they'll callus up. They'll heal up and then come back, do it another day. I said, well, how am I going to hit my hands next time? He said, well, next time you just do your elbows. Then for your elbows, we go, I got a little bat. So he gives me a little Yankee bat. He says, take this home, start hitting your shins with it. Hitting my shins with it.
What?
Yeah, because what he would do is, as he's watching TV, he would get a little Yankee bat, and he would beat on his shins because he did Muay Thai too. So Muay Thai in Thailand, when they box and kick, they'll kick with their shins and their knees and all that stuff. This guy's, if he, obviously I seen him barefooted, right? His toes were like all screwed up. His big toe went this way. Everything was calloused, like Japanese in martial arts. Everything was calloused. This guy didn't feel nothing. His shins were all like, it looked like a bumpy road. This guy was calloused. He could kick, break bats, cinder blocks. It was
that's
a whole nother level.
Intense form of, wow.
I start training with Doc, right? We're training in the park. That's what happens when it gets cold out, okay? He didn't care. He had his military bag, and, eventually I got him a community room in the building I lived in, and I had a community center there that they gave it to me on nights they weren't using it, and I had them come there. We would train, and I would try to get the kids from the neighborhood that were on drugs, go round the kids up, one of my cousins being one of them, get them all in the car, bring them over there, and start, have Cliff teach them, martial arts. At least get them off the street, right?
Yeah, no kidding.
They didn't appreciate it though. Eventually they went back to, blowing coke and stuff like that. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is Cliff takes me to a tournament. Takes me to a karate tournament. Tony Zuzio and Cliff. They take me. They go, okay, you're going to compete. They put me in the black belt division. I'm not a black belt. I forgot what belt that was, but I was nowhere near a black belt. I said, so why you put me in a, because they knew when Cliff walked in there and Tony Zuzio walked in there that they didn't believe what my belt was. Okay. So if I walked in there with a blue belt,
they're not going to believe
that. You're training with these guys. We know you're higher than that.
Yeah.
We're going to put you with the blacks and the browns, okay? Which is the highest level.
Yeah.
So he did. They put me in that thing, and I didn't care, So I'm there, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to go by the point system, and I'm going to do this thing right. Cliff calls me on the side, goes, as soon as they tell you go, you beat the shit out of them.
And don't stop, right?
And don't stop. I go, but I'm going to get disqualified. Zuzio tells me, F the trophy.
Everybody was kung fu